Hey, what's up everybody? It is Kellen here from Start Your Systems and welcome back to MX Simulator, where today we're going to be previewing the 2023 Anaheim 2 Supercross track while playing a replica version of it in MX Simulator. If you guys are watching this, you may have already seen this track, of course, played in the MX Simulator professional race just last night. So maybe you've already seen a little bit of how this track works or how it flows or so on and so forth. But I always like doing these little videos just to show, I don't know, I guess what the track might look like this weekend for the real-life Monster Energy AMA Supercross, which is, as they say, round 4 of the series, but we all really know it's round 3, and that when the Oakland rescheduled race comes around, that will not be round 2. That will be whatever that is by that point, round 6 or whatever. So, yeah, but this is round 3 now of Monster Energy AMA Supercross, and it is going to be a Triple Crown this weekend in Anaheim, so you also have to look at the track in terms of how it races in terms of a short-term race, like how easy is it to pass fast or how difficult is it maybe. So if you get in a bit of a freight train, you can't make quick passes and so on and so forth. Of course, also the sim race, it was a Triple Crown. So, you know, it's a very, very unique track. I will give that, you know, right from the get-go, as you saw me go down the start straight and kind of cut through all of this stuff, and now I'm jumping back over the start straight. Fairly long track, lap times that I was able to run a little bit. I just did like a couple laps on the track just to get a quick feel for it, and I was able to put down some 106s. And usually speaking, I feel like the real life guys end up going a few seconds faster, sometimes maybe even faster than a few seconds. But yeah, I think that we'll see at least over a minute lap times, in my personal opinion. I think that this track will present it being long enough. But yeah, just a lot of wild chaos and all that. So let's kind of break it down a little bit section by section. Like I said, the start is crazy. It goes through four different lanes of track, makes a left-hand 180 turn, and then goes over a little roller, and then makes a right-hand 90, and that's the only time that you use more or less that part of the start for the entire track. Then it just becomes like a normal racetrack after that, but I would not call this a normal racetrack by any stretch of the imagination. Like, even if they just built this and put the start somewhere that wasn't crazy like this one is, I still would say that this is a pretty peculiar looking racetrack. It's got a lot of really big doubles. Like even this finish line double right here is pretty big. Like, I feel like that's, in my opinion, bigger than your standard Supercross triple with how, you know, high you're going and how long you're in the air for. Feels like it's actually decently hard to time as well. So like, I don't feel like that's something that you can just say, oh, that's super easy, and those guys will, you know, adapt to that no problem. Then you have a pretty standard rhythm section. I did a couple options already through there. I'll try to do some more, little 3-2 right there. And then I feel like this section right here, I just kind of wanted to like slowly actually look at it. Look at this little section where you're supposed to land in between the first turn complex. You have this double right here that lands in between the first turn complex, and I don't feel like there's that much room to land and then take off right here. I would almost wonder if, as we get closer to the race this weekend, that changes and they have like either rollers or something a little more simple right there, because that is not a lot of room to fit that landing and that double takeoff in that gap. Now, they have done something similar to that in the past and made it work at Anaheim 1 in 2019, I believe it was, which was a mud race, but they still did kind of like the double-double over the start straight, so maybe they're using a similar technique to that, similar vibe. I don't know for sure if that's you know, where they got that inspiration from, but I do like the outside of the box thinking that they've come up with to do that in the first place, because it is really going to be tight and technical to nail that first double, get down in transition, double the next thing. You know, the best riders in the world, so I don't expect it to be something that they struggle at necessarily, but it is something that you have to, I guess, maybe like think of a little bit more than just, yeah, they're going to automatically nail everything on this track and it's a pretty simple track. It's not simple. There's a lot of different rhythm lines, a lot of different things to try. Like out of this corner, like I said, you could go 2-3 instead of 3-2, which I had been doing. And like even getting this double out of this corner, like I feel like I haven't got it really clean except maybe that time so far. So it's technical. It's hard to hit. I like that it seems like every rhythm section as well has multiple options. Like even this one right here, I think the main one would be to triple on, step off, and then you would like quad down the backside of this guy, double into the corner. I think that would be the main line. And then you have a Supercross triple back here, which is the lone Supercross triple, but it doesn't feel like it because of how many doubles there are. And the Supercross triple back there might be the most like away from the crowd I've ever seen a Supercross triple. Like there's a small amount of fans tucked behind that bullpen right there. Not a lot of people close to the Supercross triple to see the big whipper tails and stuff like that. So it's a unique track in the aspect that they didn't put the Supercross triple in your typical places where it's close to the fans so they can see the riders get really high in the air. They have some long rhythm lanes down the first and third base line that I feel are technical and provides options. Like there could be the possibility that none of the options I've done so far in these rhythm lanes is what they end up doing. They might go like 2-2-1 right there if the jumps are small enough or what have you. So it's one of those tracks that like I can't really, I guess, make accurate predictions on because you just don't know. Like it does depend on how they build it every single week, but this one almost more so just because of how peculiar each lane is. This rhythm section right here, you could double in, and then off of this, you could jump onto this table, step off and triple into the corner. I think you could go over that table, but I don't know if you could quad out even. Like that's pretty gnarly. You got a sand section in the back right here. Like there's just a lot going on this track, which I guess is kind of good for a Triple Crown, right? Like you want something that for the riders, just because it's a Triple Crown doesn't mean that they get like an easy track. They get something that might challenge them and might produce some interesting racing nonetheless, to see, how these guys attack stuff. There are maybe a few too many kind of like 90-ish turns. Well, not really actually. There's that 90. There's another 90 after this bull berm up here. But then you got like a little bit less than a 180 after that. Like there's a 180 here, a 180 on the other end right there. I love when they use the full length of the foul pole to foul pole type of thing, or not the foul pole to foul pole, the foul pole to home plate type of situation, because I feel like that really utilizes a lot of the space of the stadium. Like I would consider that a bull berm right there, even though it's not a full 180. Oh, going down, and obviously this is a bull berm. The one thing I will say about where they have the 180s is that for the most part, it's not a lot of back and forth. Like they have a left 180 and a right 180, but then it goes into a right-hand sweeper coming up here. And then, coming up to the finish line jump, they have a right-hand 180 and a left-hand 180, but then it turns into a left-hand 90. So, like, it doesn't feel like they're necessarily giving a whole lot of room to get great runs on people. But I also feel that sometimes the ideology that back-to-back 180s creates great racing can be a little bit overhyped and overstated, because if you get a run on somebody, it doesn't matter where. Like, we saw Eli Tomac this past weekend at San Diego, get a run on Cooper Webb going into a 90 out of a bull berm, and that was just one turn. Like it wasn't like he set it up for 3 straightaways and finally found the spot to make the pass. So I think sometimes it's a little bit overstated how important back-to-back bull berms are. I think if you just provide good options on the racetrack and provide good areas in which guys can make time, there's always going to be opportunities to pass, even if it's a 90. 90s provide less passing, but if you have a 180 after a 90 or before a 90, sometimes it can set up opportunities like it did with Tomac. So I think that this track personally is so far one of my favorite in terms of just what I'm seeing so far, coming into this round. We haven't seen Oakland raced, even though we've seen it raced in Sim, and we'll get to that kind of track preview when it does get raced. But that track I felt like also was a pretty raceable track, and I did not expect San Diego to be very raceable, but some guys said that it raced well because of the 180s and the way the track broke down. So I don't know. Like I think that the Dirtworks guys have done a pretty good job, I think, so far through the first 4 rounds, I guess, but 3 of giving the riders options, presenting them situations that they can do something unique or different. And, maybe it provides some, like I said, unique opportunities for guys to try something different. Like, I would love to see, this quad be possible, for example. Like, I don't think it will be. I think you're going to most likely see step on, step off, triple, double, I guess. I really feel like they're missing a jump in this rhythm section. I thought there was one extra single, but maybe I just looked at the map wrong. And then, maybe the rest of the track, like, there's some more opportunities, down the third base line on that rhythm section that I'm coming up to here in 2 turns. Maybe it is double in and then quad on off, or maybe it's only double, table over single, triple, or something like that. Like, you just never really know what the racing line will be until they race it, because the track breaking down always changes it up. If it's concrete, they have the opportunity to do big lines, but will it be concrete? I don't know. Like, Anaheim's had some pretty interesting situations with a lot of rain and then monster jam events and mixed dirt, and it just doesn't seem like they're going to have like a perfectly concrete dry type of track. It might be a little bit broken down, might be a little bit weird, but we'll see. At the moment, I have no idea because I've not seen the track in person. I will see the track in person. You guys are watching this probably Thursday, so I'll see it tomorrow because I'm going to be going to press day at Angel Stadium, and I'll get a little bit better synopsis. Maybe I'll post some stuff up on the Start Your Systems gram or my own to just, you know, share what the track looks like, what it kind of feels like so far, and so on and so forth, because this is going to be a unique one. This is one of those tracks that I feel like is going to, you know, just be kind of more off the wall. And when you throw a Triple Crown in on top of that, it makes it extra off the wall, and that could be exciting to see. It could be exciting to watch how it unfolds. So would love to know what you guys think about this track in the comment section below. Definitely a unique one. Do you like the doubles over the start straight? Do you like the way that they've laid out this design with that to, you know, incorporate the start, but also I feel like flow around the rest of the stadium quite well also? Is there some things that you wish that they did like slightly different with this design? Like maybe add some you know, whoops in a different spot. Maybe a rhythm section goes through this back section. You put the Supercross triple in a more marquee location. I don't know. I think that, like I said, I'm pretty satisfied with the way that this looks and the way that this races, or rides, I should say, but I'd love to know what you guys have to think. That's why I like posting these videos, to share with you guys and get some extra opinions and so on and so forth. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Happy to get involved down there with you guys. And thanks for tuning in and watching another video here on Start Your Systems. I'm Kellen, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So long for now.